What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Trackside Girls podcast. This is episode 11 of season 3. And we're gonna. We have a couple, actually, I think we had like all three series, didn't we? Let me.
Um,
I know we
I
had.
honestly,
I know we had Bahrain. And then obviously trucks and Xfinity at Rockingham. Um, I want to say IndyCar was at Long Beach. Was that? Oh no, actually I don't think I think that was the weekend before. So
ignore
so
us. We don't know anything.
yeah, it's been a rough like brain empty. I know I say that a lot, but like genuinely brain empty.
For real. I woke up at 3 a.m. on Sunday or on Saturday, and I don't remember my entire day.
Bro, actually I also woke up at like 3 a.m. on Saturday. Oh my gosh! So I was at Rockingham this weekend, and to get like, cause I wanted to park in the infield, which I have my ways. I got into the infield. That's not the issue. Um, but I had to get there before all the crew guys showed up because they would end up taking all those spaces because that's where I park is in the team parking because I go with a team, don't look too much into it, okay? Um but so I got to the track at 5:45 Saturday morning. It was an hour and a half drive. I woke up at 3:55 and was awake until like 10 p.m. And I'm pretty sure I lost a streak freeze on Duolingo because on that day specifically.
I like how you throw that in there. I lost it.
I lied. They
I
were in
just
they were in Jeddah, not Bahrain. Bahrain was the weekend before. I'm sorry. I mix those up. But, we'll talk about Saudi first cuz this is just going to be a quick little rundown because like I said, I like whatever I'm at a racetrack, like I focus on that race and I'm not able to watch other sessions. Um Pierre Gasly was fastest in practice 1.
so Sid, you missed a lot on there. It was insane. I didn't actually watch it, but I like saw bits and pieces of it, and I was confused to say the least.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lando Norris was second fastest with Charles Leclerc third for FP1. FP2 had a McLaren duo, second or first and second fastest with Lando leading, um, with Max Verstappen rounding out the top 3 fastest in the session. For FP3, again, same top 2, but this time George Russell rounding out the top 3. For qualifying, I'm a little confused, but we'll go with it. Gabrielle with Stake F1 was in 20th, Esteban Ocon in 19th, Nico Hulkenberg in 18th, Jack Doohan in 17th, Lance Stroll in 16th, rounding out Q1. Out in Q2, Oliver Bamrin in 15th, Isaac Hadjar in 14th, Fernando Alonso in 13th, Liam Lawson in 12th, and Alex Albon in 11th. The rounding out the top 10, it says Lando Norris did not finish in Q3, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Pierre Gasly in ninth, Yuki Tsunoda 8th, Lewis Hamilton 7th, Carlos Sainz in 6th, and a Williams. Okay. Kimi Antonelli in 5th, Charles Leclerc in 4th, George Russell starting 3rd, and on the front row it is Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen to take pole.
Lando hit the wall. That's why he was out.
Okay, that
Because
makes more
over
sense.
the radio, Max had asked if Lando was okay, and Oscar had asked if Lando was okay. Because he hit the wall during that time.
For the race, Lando Norris got the fastest lap. Um, Fastest pit stop is still held by Ferrari. Driver of the day was Max Verstappen. The podium was Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and the winner of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was Oscar Piastri.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I did see because I watched the beginning of it. Um, like almost like the first couple of laps. I blame so I who did I blame originally for this?
I don't know.
Like so it was between Yuki and Pierre Gasly, and like I want to say that Pierre was ahead, and like Yuki, I can't remember who clipped who, but it ended both of their races because they crashed with each other. And that happened like very early on in the race.
Yeah. I think from what I saw, I mean, it was kind of half and half. Some people were blaming Pierre, some people were blaming Yuki, but then some people were like blaming both of them for it, and I'm like, I don't even know. Because I didn't actually see it. I just saw some comments, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. It was that I did see. All right. So now we gotta talk about Rockingham. Um, Something I do want to point out because Arca East was also running. Um, they brought this up on Stacking Pennies, um, which this was the first video footage that I had ever seen of this wreck. Um, like I witnessed it with my own eyes, um, but I could not find a video of it to save my life. Um, in the second practice session, Saturday morning, um, London McKenzie hit the wall at like 140 miles an hour coming out of turn four. Blew a tire straight into the wall. Like, luckily, like, he got out of the car under his own power. It did take him a minute. I was genuinely worried. Um, he's a good friend of mine. Like, I watch him race at Millbridge. Good kid, talented driver, and like I see all this smoke like through the windshield, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, is he on fire? Like, why is he not getting out? But he climbed out by himself. You could tell he was very frustrated with himself, um, and very upset that this happened. But he did climb out on his own, walked to the ambulance by himself. Um, but he's a 15-year-old kid. This was his second ARCA race. Like, and he takes a hit like that. Like, to be fair, he does race non-wing micros, and I feel like non-wing micros are a lot more prone to flipping or crashings. I don't know how many of those he's been in, but I feel like he's somewhat prepared. Um, like for things like that. I'm not saying like there's no way. I feel like nobody can be prepared. Like that was a split second. Like you would have never known. Um, that happened because it was like 2 seconds. He didn't even get a chance to turn the car, or at least attempt to turn the car. Um, for uh, whenever he got realized he was that tire blew. But I don't know. He's a young kid. He's probably sore. I'm sure. With that. Because the first time I saw, because I watched the video, on Stacking Pennies, and gosh, he hit the wall a lot harder than I thought. Whenever I watched it, like at the track in the moment. But luckily he is okay. Um,
The whole point is he's okay.
yes, that is the important part. Um, we're gonna talk about this truck race. Um, Stuart Friesen to the rear for unapproved adjustments, because in qualifying, he slaps the wall off of turn 4, during his lap, causing right side damage. Cody Dennison also does not make a qualifying lap after engine issues in practice. He came to a stop off turn 2, smoking heavily. But it was Jake Garcia to get truck pole. Isn't he making his Xfinity debut at Talladega?
Is he?
I thought that's what I heard. With Chandler Smith on the inside, and it was lap 2. Whenever the first caution for cause came out, Connor Mozak gets loose inside Bailey Curry, battling for 5th and spins. Collecting Bailey. But they are green till the end of stage 1 with Lane Riggs winning. Jake Garcia takes 2nd, Caden Honeycutt 3rd, Chandler Smith 4th, and Corey Heim 5th. And that was the first career stage win for Lane Riggs. That I did not know. I didn't know Lane Riggs had never gotten a stage win before.
I didn't either until that, and I was like, what?
So on the restart, it is Caden Honeycutt leading from the outside, Grant Enfinger on the inside. And they are green to the end of stage 2 with Lane Riggs sweeping the stages. Caden Honeycutt 2nd, Jake Garcia 3rd, Chandler Smith 4th, and Corey Heim 5th. Leading this time, it is Chandler Smith on the outside, Raja Caruth on the inside. Next, caution for cause was lap 109. Ty Majeski spins after contact with Grant Enfinger, battling for 10th in turn 1, receiving heavy rear end damage. They did have to red flag the race to fix the turn 2 wall. That red flag lasted 9 minutes and 46 seconds. On this restart, Chandler Smith leading Daniel Hemrick on the inside. And it was the next lap later that Roger Caruth gets sideways, causing Stuart Friesen to check up off of turn 4. Matt Mills hits the back of Stuart Friesen and both crash, with Tanner also collecting Tanner Gray. They had to red flag it again for 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And on this restart, it causes Corey Heim to have led in every race this season, being the only driver to do so. So him leading on the outside, Gio Ruggiero on the inside. And it is green until the end. I'm really upset that I left this race early. Um, because Tanner Gray, or sorry, oh my gosh, whoa, where did I get Tanner Gray? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um, because Tyler Ankrum ended a 130 race winless streak, which, coming to the white flag, Tyler Ankrum ran out of gas. And because he had such a big gap over second place, he was able to get all the way back around the track and still
I
win by
I
6.65 seconds.
they played his radio and like his spotter and like his crew chief was like, dude, like you're almost out of gas. Like I honestly, I was concerned for Tyler. I was like, look, he just needs to get back around and just win the thing. Like I was hoping that he was gonna win because it has been forever, and I feel like this season, I feel like Tyler has either been screwed over or
He's
things
he's
just
just like
things like had not been going his way. So I was hoping so bad because I feel like he's been close, and it just something goes wrong.
I feel like he's
So the fact that
the
he won
Sheldon
was
Creed of the truck series.
yeah. So I was fine. I was fine with that win
Yeah.
because he has been trying so hard to win.
So, on to the Xfinity race. To the rear was Greg Van Alst for an engine, Anthony Alfredo for unapproved adjustments, Catherine Legg for a driver change, and Connor Zilich for a tire change. Um, in practice, Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer have power steering issues. Um, so, for qualifying, the two people that got sent home were the 74 and the 32, which was Dawson Cram and originally Catherine Legg. Catherine Legg was in the 32, um, but because that car does not have full time points, um, even though she was faster than multiple cars in qualifying, with the point deficit, that car got sent home. And for her to be able to run Talladega, she had to run Rockingham. She had to run laps in the race at Rockingham. So, with the 53, it was originally JJ Yaley. There was not really any sponsor on that car, not a big one, or no, at least no primary. Um, so it was more of JJ Yaley running this car as a favor to Joey Gaze, just so the car would be out on track and they would continue to get those points. Because for a car to collect points, they have to run every single race. The driver doesn't matter who's in the car, but the car has to be on track. So, I'm not sure if it was sponsor or what, but they did indeed pay Catherine's way into that car so she could run laps at this race. And you do hear it on the Xfinity broadcast before they realize their mics are hot again. I'm pretty sure it was Jamie McMurray that said she paid her way in.
It was.
So she did Yes, that is correct. She did indeed. I don't believe it was her herself. But I do believe it was like have to do with like sponsor or whoever is backing her. Um, they wanted her in that race. So there was a driver change, so that is why she had to start at the end of the field. Um, but let's get into this race. I don't want to talk. I mean, I commend Catherine, because we are big advocates of women in motorsports. Like a lot of the things I am not happy about, being said online about her, um, and the situation that happened during the race. Um, but we'll get to it. I'll say a couple opinions and then we'll move on. Um, so Connor Zelich had to drop to the rear, um, meaning Nick Sanchez leads from the inside, Parker Retzloff on the outside. It was lap 12 for the first caution for cause, where Salas spins down the backstretch from 36th and hits the inside wall. On the restart, it is Nick Sanchez, Parker Retzloff on the outside. And the next caution for cause is William Sawalich attempts to get lapped, or attempts to lap Catherine Legg in turns 1 and 2 and makes contact. Catherine Legg spins sideways and hits Casey Kane, and slams head on into the wall. Casey Kane suffers major right front damage. William Sawalich has slight damage on the right front. So, this is how I perceived this whole situation, okay? Yes, Catherine was lapped. I do believe that she did not need to be going that slow in the corner. She kind of did park it up, okay? I will admit that. But she gave the bottom, or at least attempted to. A lot of people say that she got loose and slid up. Whatever. Either way, there was a lane on the bottom that Casey Kane was attempting to take. Because Catherine was going so slow, the split-second decision that William Sawalich could have taken to go low instead runs into the back of her.
Yeah, I don't I don't exactly know what happened there. I was like, what just happened?
Now, I have seen a lot of, like, it's been kind of 50-50 on who's for Sawalich, who's against Sawalich, who's for Catherine, against
I
Catherine.
mean, it's normally how it goes. People are like half and half, and then some people are like, what does it even matter? Like it happened. Like like you can't do anything about it.
I hate the amount of hate that Catherine is getting because, I'm allowed to say this on here because we're the Trackside girls. There's a lot of obvious misogyny in racing, and it has always been seen as a male sport. But there's a lot of fantastic drivers out there. Like, this is she I'm almost positive this is some of her first races in a stock car. Like, she's incredible in open wheel. So for her to come out here and attempt to be learning, like, we always have that argument of NASCAR versus Formula One. Who's better, Max Verstappen, Kyle Larson? But you can't compare them
Yeah.
because they are two different types of motorsports. They're two, yes, you know how you have to know how to drive a car, but they're two totally different types of cars. They're two totally different skill sets. You can be good at one and jump into the other and be absolutely terrible. Like, it's going to take time for her to be acclimated to a stock car because that is not what she is driven. She she is a road racer. So ovals obviously are not going to be her strong suit. But you didn't hear people out here whenever SVG got into a stock car and like yeah, he went out and won his first road course race, but as soon as he got onto the ovals, he looked like a rookie. He
Mm-hmm.
had no idea what he was doing. He was wrecking out every week. Like, yeah, but you heard nothing. No complaining about SVG. And then I heard somebody else made the comment of people are upset because she went straight to Cup. Technically, so did SVG.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he had that start in Chicago,
I see no
he
one
didn't run
complain about him.
Xfinity.
Yeah. I I didn't see no one complain that he was in Cup and that he just went straight to Cup.
Like, it is 100% because she was a woman. That's a lot. I would say that's at least 40% of the hate that she gets is because she is a woman in motorsports.
It's kind of annoying how much hate like that girls actually get for even for liking a male sport, and I'm like, I don't know, like you just expect us to not watch sports, like you just don't think that we should like sports at all because they're all male sports. Like, no, that's not how this goes.
I was about to say that I see all these posts about men wanting like wives to show off at the racetrack. Yet you hate every woman in motorsports.
Exactly. Make it make sense. It doesn't.
Like, I'm sorry if I like say actually I mean I already am, but say that I'm a wag in motorsports. What makes you think that I'm not a fan of motorsports? I'm sorry if you it would make it sound so strange to me that if you're a wag in motorsports, how do you not like motorsports?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That would just be weird to me if you did not like the sport that your significant other was competing in.
Yeah, it's a little, yeah.
Like, at least pay attention to the series that they're in. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so like guys, make up your mind. Like you want a woman or you want a woman to show off on the racetrack and make other people jealous, but you don't want women in motorsports. Like,
Yeah.
make it make sense. Um okay, sorry. We were in the middle of a race.
I know, and then we got distracted because freaking men are,
We do this every time.
we do. Sometimes we don't know how to get back on track, and sometimes we do. So,
All right. So, on the restart after that caution, Nick Sanchez is leading from the inside, Ryan Sieg on the outside, because Parker Retzloff chooses to restart behind Nick Sanchez. And it is a basically one lap shootout to the end of stage one with Nick Sanchez winning the stage, Parker Retzloff second, Ryan Sieg third, Anthony Alfredo fourth, and Jeb Burton fifth. This was Nick Sanchez's first stage win, and the first for Big Machine since COTA of March 2024 with Parker Kligerman. On the restart, it is Carson Kvapil leading on the inside, Brandon Jones on the outside. It is green until lap 109. Justin Bonsignor makes contact with Sheldon Creed while battling for 8th entering turn 1. Both get sideways, and Sheldon Creed makes contact with the outside wall. On the restart, Dean Thompson leads, Jeb Burton on the outside. And Dean Thompson wins stage 2, with Jeb Burton second, Jeremy Clements third, Matt DiBenedetto fourth, and Anthony Alfredo fifth. On the restart, Brandon Jones leading, Jesse Love on the outside. They didn't even make it one lap because William Swalich spins around 15th, going 3 wide in turn 3, making contact with Josh Williams. On the restart, Brandon Jones leading, Jesse Love on the outside. Lap 138, another caution comes out. Chris Wright brushes the turn 1 wall, while Greg Van Alst spins from 34th behind him. Restarting, Jesse Love on the outside, Brandon Jones on the inside. Again, a couple laps later, another caution. Parker Retzloff slows from 10th with a flat right front tire. Patrick Emmerling gets spun by Dean Thompson as he tries to avoid Parker Retzloff on the backstretch. Leading on this restart is Jesse Love, Carson Kvapil on the inside. And again, a couple laps later, Justin Bonsignor spins down the backstretch from 11th after contact with Jeb Burton in turn 2. Lap 165, they get going again. Ryan Sieg on the inside, Austin Green on the outside. Another caution for cause on lap 181. Kyle Sieg spins off of turn 2 while trying to avoid Ryan Ellis hits the back of Jeremy Clements and spins down the backstretch. Ryan Sieg leading from the inside, Christian Eckes on the outside. And at that point in time, Ryan Sieg had led 29 laps. And it was a new career high for Ryan Sieg. Unfortunately, lap 227, Blaine Perkins blows a tire entering turn 3 and hits the wall. I watched that happen. It was almost the exact same spot as London McKenzie. It was a little further, like, into 3, but more so going into 4 rather than coming out of 4. It was kind of crazy. With both drivers that I know hitting almost the exact same spot. Ryan Sieg leading, Jesse Love on the outside on the restart. Again, a couple laps later, Daniel Dye spins between 3 and 4. Josh Bilicki and Casey Kane also get into the wall. So on the restart, Ryan Sieg appears to sputter on the front stretch and did not maintain speed. So Jesse Love is leading on the outside, Sammy Smith on the inside. Just after the start-finish line, Christian Eckes, like, stumbles in, like, accordions the entire field. Christian Eckes, Justin Allgaier, Nick Sanchez, Brandon Jones, Ryan Sieg, Austin Green, Thomas Annunziata, Carson Kvapil, Jeremy Clements, they all received damage. Like, it was a big stack up. So they had to bring out a red flag. Luckily, it was only 2 minutes and 59 seconds, so it wasn't very long. But they get going again. Jesse Love leading Sammy Smith on the inside, and they have another caution. Sam Mayer slows on the front stretch after apparently running out of fuel. Connor Zilic gets sideways between turns 1 and 2 and clips Sam Mayer. And a multi-car accident occurs on the backstretch involving Matt DiBenedetto, Sam Mayer, and Carson Quapple. So they had to bring out another red flag for cleanup.
It was a lot happening.
5 minutes and 38 seconds. They restart again. Sammy Smith leading. Tanner Gray on the outside. They don't even talk about when Anthony Alfredo takes it 3 wide and ends up putting Chris Wright into the wall. And it ends Chris Wright's race, and he has to be drug in by the tow truck. So I don't know when that happened, but it happened towards the end of the race. But at this moment, Jesse Love wins by 0.691 seconds over Sammy Smith, but he is disqualified. I don't exactly remember why. It had to do with like his rear suspension, I believe. Meaning, Sammy Smith inherited that win. Jesse Love made jokes saying that luckily his house has a safe, because honestly, who would not want that trophy? If you saw what the trophy looked like, it literally like looked so cool. It had the rock on it, like the big Rockingham logo, basically. Also, Justin Bonsignor did disqualified as well for loose lug nuts, but it was a very eventful weekend.
It was a very something race towards the end. Also, Sammy won the Dash for Cash, which is his first time ever winning it.
Oh, I forgot that Rockingham was a Dash for Cash race.
Yeah, he's never won the Dash for Cash. And he won it. Oh, RCR is gonna appeal
Yeah.
his Jesse's disqualification, which the news for that should come out tomorrow. Or they're either the news for that should come out tomorrow, or they're making the appeal tomorrow. I don't know. One of the two.
That's at some point.
At some point. So because I think something happened. The way that Bob put it made it seem like they think something happened when he did his burnout, that he lost something or something like that. I don't know. Did something. I don't know. I wasn't actually really paying all that much attention to it, but
Who knows?
yeah, I don't know.
All right. So luckily there's only 2 races that we follow this weekend. It is the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series at Talladega. Let's see. IndyCar will be back next weekend at Barber. Formula One will be back next weekend at Miami. While NASCAR will be in Texas. But let's get on to the Xfinity Series. Patrick Emmerling is going to be in the 07. Eric Almirola in the 19. Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 24. Jake Garcia in the 29. Catherine Legg again in the 32. Greg Van Alst in the 35. Cesar Barcerella in the 45, Joey Gaze in the 53, Mason Maggio in the 66. The 70 is Leland Honeyman this week. Austin Green in the 87. Jesse Owuji in the 91.
Funny how NASCAR knows how to freaking put the entry list on the app now.
Right. They heard me
The
yelling
heck?
about it. That's what it was.
Yeah, they heard us complaining. We're like, really? Like, why don't you have it?
Um, Talladega.
At this point, I have no idea. Like, I like honestly no idea who to pick. I'm like,
I'm gonna say Jesse Love again.
that's a good one since he
Like,
did win there.
hey, I think he won this same race last year.
That's what I'm looking at.
Cause I have a video of him driving by on the way to
Yeah,
victory lane.
yeah. I genuinely have no idea.
It's probably gonna be Eric Almirola,
Oh
unfortunately.
God. I honestly hope that he gets wrecked or just crashes or has an engine failure, one of the two. Something goes wrong with his car. That's what I hope. Because I do not want to see that.
I'm gonna go with the iconic duo of Jesse Love and Connor Zilich.
Their photos cracked me up of them literally attacking each other. Them attacking each other on Twitter is what brings me joy because it's so freaking hilarious. You know what? I'm probably gonna go. I don't even know. You know what? I'm just gonna say, wait. I wanna see something. Hmm. Mm, you know what? I'm just gonna say Christian.
Okay,
And I'll go Justin Allgaier.
fair choice. Fair choice. All right, on to the Cup Series. Cody Ware is in the 51. I don't know if he took that car over completely or not, but he will be in the 51 this week. The 44 is JJ Yaley. Anthony Alfredo is running the 62 for Beard Motorsports, as well as BJ McLeod is going to be in this race. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to say Todd Gilly, the big Gilly. Todd Father.
Podfather. That's not a bad choice because, like, they have speed.
Yeah. And then my other choice, mm,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know how well you're gonna like this one, but I'm gonna try a Bubba Wallace. He's
Okay.
fairly decent. Like I'm trying to pick like more out there people than I like because I
It's
keep picking
okay
the same people
because
over
I
and over again.
genuinely was gonna pick Noah because he's also good at super speedways, and then also pick Riley because he's also good at super speedways.
Oh.
And considering that the last time he raced Cup, I actually legitimately thought he was gonna win at Talladega,
And
but
yet
then that
I
actually
never
happened.
lived.
So I'm gonna go the iconic duo besties because they're kind of both good at super speedways.
So, we are both picking a front row driver and a 2311 driver.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
But okay, so those are our picks. Um and that is it, I believe.
That is
So
it.
we're gonna go ahead and get out of here because I'm tired.
Me too.
So thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. However you enjoy our lovely podcast. This has been episode 11 of season 3 of the Trackside Girls podcast. And yeah, let's do this outro. It goes peace, love, and race cars.
Glad to see we're both.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Peace.